Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Main Topic Podcast. Today we have another episode, and I'm your host, Tremaine, holding it down. Today it's another episode. I'm the host. It's a solo episode again. Sometimes it's hard getting people together, but I can hold this down. I'm the main character. But anyway, today we will be discussing rap and R&B album covers. And, just talking about the quality of the art or the creativity, or, just talking about the cover itself and how well it may match the album it is. I got this idea after just like, I don't know, I listened to a lot of like rap and R&B, and then, I wanted to try to incorporate something that involves my art or just something artistic with it other than musically, because, I'm like a visual artist. So I decided to, like talk about each cover, tell my feelings about it, and just say how I feel. I chose a few that I feel like are definitely worth commenting on. With these covers, I'll be judging them based off their creativity, the quality of the art, or photo, because photos and art kind of have very similar qualities, where it's like lighting, the light source, how shadows work, how colors work of the photo, where it's like what lighting the color is. I mean, what color the lighting is, and all that stuff. They're very, very similar. And then how well it matches the album. I've listened to majority of these albums that I'll be talking about today, and yeah, I'll just be telling my like opinion of them and giving them like a rating between like 1 and 5 stars. Like I'll rate their creativity, the quality of the album cover artwork, and how well it matches the album. And yeah, so let's get started with number 1. All right, first up, first up is Sexy Red's Hood Hottest Princess. Now, if you don't know who Sexy Red is, just say that she's very, I won't say controversial, but people have a lot of opinions on her and her music, especially in like the black community, because of what she kind of represents in the community, where it's like not the best view for like black people, especially black women, even though a lot of rappers kind of are like that, where it's like, if they just rap about like sex or just like killing people or like murder and doing crimes. But I feel like there is a little bit of a double standard when it comes to women and like music and all that stuff, where they might be a little like get pressured and like be like talked down on for what they talk about more than men. But that's a conversation for a different day. Anyway, her album cover, it's just her squatting with a red background, and she's trying to look like sexy. And like, I guess I guess it's kind of straightforward. Technically, you could say it is her being sexy, and then the background's red, even though her hair is blonde. Like, I see the vision. Creativity wise, to be honest, it's like it's to the point, and that's me like giving it her more grace. But I'd give the album cover itself like 2.5 stars. Like it's not that good. It's just like her squatting, but it's like because of Sexy Red and who she is, I'll give her like a discount on like, she's authentic. That's one thing I can say about Sexy Red. I feel like Sexy Red, her music is authentically her, because if you know about half the things that she's done or half the things that she's said outside of her music as well, like in interviews, you know that she's really about that life. She's really like that hood booger, like hood rat, gutter snipe type girl that you might see walking up and down Philly. Like, she's really authentic. Creativity 2.5. Quality, it's a standard photo shoot. Like it's just like a regular photo with like a red backdrop. That's like a 2, to be honest, because it's like, well, not 2, I'll give 2.5. It's like, it's nothing extravagant, and then like no real like crazy editing with it. Then like how well it matches the album, if it really was supposed to match the album, it would probably be something like X-rated. So but like I'll say like what, like I'll give a 3. That's me being nice. 3 stars out of like 5. Like, I guess it matches the album. You look at this, you're like, yeah, I expect to hear, I'm not gonna say Pound Town. You like my voice? It turn you on? That's what like oh my god, I love Ain't My Fault. And her song with like Lancey, that like UK like drill rap or whatever. Lancey. I like that. Anyways, next up we have someone else who's kind of boring. Next up, we have Coi Leray. I have my opinions on Coi, but it's not that type of video. But I will say her album cover on paper, obviously it's like it's damn near the same as Sexy Red, just with a white backdrop, and both of them are just squatting in like different clothes. And it's basically like the cooler version, as in like cool, as in like blues and purples, compared to Sexy Red's like reds. See, look at me doing all this color theory. Look at me doing all this color theory. But yeah, it's like the cover's just really basic, and I feel like if you're gonna have a basic cover, you have to like the album or whatever body of work just has to be that good. Like even with like books and stuff, like if that cover is gonna be super basic, what's inside that book has to be like amazing. What's inside that album, like when you're listening to that album or song, it has to be crazy. But her album, kind of trash, kind of really bad, just full of samples, like full of just like half-ass TikTok trends, trying to get her next hit, just like just not that good. Not that good. But like I like the cover, like I like how she looks on it. It's just like it's like same old, same old. It's like, you know, a lot of like female musicians, especially like rappers and R&B singers, it's just like, oh, I have a great idea, let me just get naked. And it's like, I don't know if this is like me outside looking in, because I do understand the argument of like, this is like it's the male gaze, and it's men making women feel like that they need to do this for like status and validation and yada 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 whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, she decided to make this her cover, and I think it's kind of bad. Also, with like the name, it should have been Playing Coy, because that would have been a good like little, you know, double entendre or whatever saying, because you know the saying play coy, playing coy, that could have worked for her, but you know she wasn't too bright on that one. But yeah, overall creativity, it gets like a 1.5 stars for me, because it's not that creative, to be honest. Quality, I actually do like the quality of it. I do enjoy the like quality of the like photo shoot, and I do like the white background. I like the little shadow under her, like I mean the reflection under her, I like that. But it's just like the album isn't good enough to have this basic cover, and there's no real substance coming from her. It's just her in like whatever designer outfit, what little she has on. And it's like how well it matches the album, shit, let's say 4, because that album's garbage. This cover isn't that good either. It's like okay, so let's just call it a match and go to the next one. Next, we have everyone's favorite washed up 35-year-old rapper. We have Drake. We have Drake with For All the Dogs. Now, I will be honest, I give this cover a pass because Adonis drew it and he was trying to draw a goat. So I give this cover a pass for like quality. I think it's NA because, you know, Adonis drew it. Adonis is like 6 years old. So I will give Drake grace for that. Creativity, like 2.5. It's not that creative. It's like, yeah, Drake's the GOAT. And it's like, yeah, you know, Drake, you had hits, but it's like, you're getting a little washed. Like, you're getting like old. You're getting like, you're letting your old head show when you're trying to be with all the like 25-year-olds and all the like 20-year-olds, like, and try to like bite off their shit. Where it's like, that Yeet song he was on, I'm like, you're literally just being like watered down Yeet. It's like, you're not bringing your own, like, I'm Drake, but I'm like on this Yeet beat, and it's like, I'm really cooking, I'm really doing my thing. It's like, you're being watered down Yeet, copying how he talks, but you're not adding your own thing to it. You're just being Yeet, and it's like watered down. Like the album, I just didn't care for a lot of the songs on it. Like, I did like a song with Lil Yachty on it. I thought that was good. The like Sexy Red song with like SZA, you have to be like drunk in the club to listen to that song. Like, if I was drunk in the club and that came on, maybe I'd be like, ugh, hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Maybe I'd be like that. But it's like, sober, you listen to that, it's just like, what is happening? But yeah, creativity, 2.5. I'll give him that only because, you know, Drake was the GOAT. He, you know, he is up there. He is like probably the most popular rapper. I'll give him that. But it's like, you're getting a little washed and old. Quality, NA, because your son did it, so I'm gonna be nice to Adonis. But how well it matches the album, I'm gonna give that deadass like a 2-2, because it's like, you're not being very goatly on this. You're not being the GOAT on this. You're being washed up dad hanging with the kids at the cookout. Like, you're giving like Unk at the cookout trying to hang out with the 20-year-olds and get down, and it's like, you're old. But that's just what it is. Okay, next up. Okay, next up we have Lil Uzi Vert. We have Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Lucifer. Little Uzi Vert. We have Little Uzi Vert. With Pink Tape. I actually really do like Pink Tape. It's like, I don't know if I'm doing too much when I think of this, but it's like, you know, it's the American flag, but pink. And you know, like Uzi, he has this little like pink diamond on his forehead. And of course, like the American flag, because you know, like America's like freedom, like doing what you want, not caring, like, you know, doing what you want, being confident and all that shit. Like it can be translated into that, and Uzi just being himself. And you know, the jacket, to be honest, is really fire. I like his style, the spiky hair. I like the outfit. You know, I like it. Like creativity, I might be reaching, but I give it at least a 3.5 stars. I mean, out of 5 stars, I give it 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. For quality, I like it. I would give it a 3.5 again for the quality. I think it's very well done. I think it's a very well done album cover. Like I really like it. How well it matches the album, I think it matches it pretty well. Like I like how Uzi was very experimental with this album. I personally like the second half more than the first half, because it's more like, it's a little more alternative, it's a little more different. It's like, you know, there's some like metal, there's some rock, there's like the song with Baby Metal. Like he was really just like doing whatever. He was doing whatever, you know. Gotta give him props for that. So I'll give him a 4 for that one. 4 out of 5 stars. But next up we have SZA with SOS, which I really did enjoy SOS. Like there's like a good like 7 songs I like on the album. And like, you know, this might sound a little mean, but I will give a female artist props, especially in rap and R&B, where it's like the cover isn't just them naked. It's not just them with like their ass out or something. That's just being honest. I'll give them props for that, because that's the easy cop out where it's just like, let me just take a picture of me in like a bikini top and like a thong or some shit and like look sexy. Aren't I so creative? But you know, I like it because it means like how people were acting for like the album for so long, and it's like, you know, like a SOS call, like someone's in distress, you like, you're waiting for someone, like you need saving or whatever. And how like SZA with her journey trying to get her album out, it took so many years for her to like really get this second album done and push it out. And it's like, it relates to, you know, like SOS, like, you know, trying to find the album, where's the album, like that. So I really like it, and I like how it's like the cover art's done with her like on a diving board on the ocean. It's like, it's really creative, and I feel like for creativity I give it a 4 because of how much it matches her as an artist and her, you know, time trying to get the album out. Quality of art, I really like it. I'll give it a 3.5. Like it's not super like extensive, but it's like, imagine like, I think she actually did get on like a whole diving board or some sort of board like in front of like not in front of the ocean, on top, or like, you know, around the ocean for the photo. I give it like 3.5 for that, for quality and all that. And for how well it matches the album, I'll give it like a 4 because I did like a lot of the music. Like, you know, it's not just about like relationships, about like personal stuff too as well, and how someone may feel about themselves. So I'll give it grace for that, because look, this is just me being honest. When an artist cannot, or especially rap and R&B, when an artist cannot make every song either about like, this is me being dead ass, how what their coochie is, oh I have the best, I all these people, or like, is when they're, look, this is my podcast, because when they're like, oh yeah, like, oh yeah, I'll shoot you, like all that shit, it's just like, it's annoying. It's like really dumb, and it's really annoying. So whenever someone gets out of the box, like you can have your good little like 1 or 2, maybe 3, 4 songs, but the album can't just be all that. We'll get to an album that's all that soon. But next up we have, okay, okay, next up we have Ice Spice. We have Ice Spice, which I'm going to try not to show too much favoritism for reasons, but with her album Like, and the album cover, I personally, at first you look at it and you're like, wow, it looks ugly as shit, because of like, it's like, it looks like some like shitty AI like generator, or like someone who's like not good at 3D modeling made it. But it's like, you look at it, I don't know, it's something where it's like, it's not anatomically correct, it's exaggerated, but I like, the more I look at it, I'm like, I kind of see the vision a little bit, like I kind of see it. And it's like, it's her in her like signature pose where she's patting her coochie, she on her little coochie, a little pat, and you know, like, it's damn, now that I look at it, it is kind of like boring a little bit, but it's like, I'll give it like a, To be honest, at 2.5, it's like it's not that creative. I just shitted on like art, like especially female artists, where it's just like, oh, look at me naked, look at me, open my legs up. Hey, aren't I so creative? Yeah, so I can't give her that much grace. Creativity, I guess like 2.5. Like it's her pose, but it's like, you know, same old, same old. And then like, how well it's done, I'll give her grace for that. I'll give her a 3 because I see the vision. Other people may not. I might be a little delusional or maybe personal bias, but yeah. And then how well it matches the music. This, like, it's not an album, it's an EP. It only had like 6 songs, but it's like, I'll give that a 3 to be nice, but that's probably a little bit of bias. But you know, will we get a better album cover for her album her actual album coming out soon? Maybe, I don't know. But let's move on. Okay, next up we have Lil Durk with Almost Healed. I really do like the album cover. There's a very common theme of white there's a very common theme of white backgrounds with like whatever focal point. But I really do like how his album cover is made. I like how, you know, the reds of like the blood on his eye and the blood on the bandages are like really like jump out compared to the white background. I mean, contrast or whatever word it is to the white background. I like the meaning of it where it's like, I think it was one of his performances, he got like injured on his eye, like something hit him in the eye. And you know, that's kind of like the inspiration for this cover. So there's like a little substance there. And it's him actually talking about like, you know, like mental trauma and like his emotions and his feelings in this album. And that's always a plus because, you know, like how I said, when like rappers or artists or like musicians, when they only talk about, you know, coochie and killing people, it gets a little like boring. It's just like the same thing, like same old, same old, same old. But creativity, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like, I don't know, I just like it a lot because it's like Almost Healed, incorporating like his injury and mental, like, you know, emotional trauma and everything from like King Von dying. I have some words about him, but this ain't the time. But yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Then the quality of the art, I think it's done really well. I'll give it a 4 as well, 4 out of 5 stars. And then lastly, how well it matches the album, I'll give that 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like a little bit of room for growth. But yeah, I really do like it. I enjoy his album cover. I listened to not all of the album, but some of the album, and I really did like what was there. Okay, next up we have Chloe Bailey's album In Pieces, which, you know, personally I liked it. I enjoyed the album. Like, I liked at least half of the songs. Like, I know people drug her through like the mud and kept saying like, oh, you fucking flopped, you're a flop, because of like it didn't do like high on the charts and because of her like connections with Beyonce. But as an R&B album, like, I liked some of the songs, but I could understand why people were like, a lot of Chloe's music sounds forced, where it's like she doesn't seem like she actually is what she's singing about, like compared to a SZA or a Summer Walker. Chloe Bailey's music, it's like, now, you know, you were like a church girl or whatever, like you were like in the church, you were not like out here thoughting and bopping and hoeing out here. But it's like, I like the album, I like the album cover because of what it represents. How she said in an interview that her red hair represents like a time in her life where she, you know, was going through a lot, and it's like that's why she chose to have red locks again for this cover, to like represent that time and to show her feelings at the time. And then just like her posing, trying to like mimic I think it's called a Carnage doll, like a Carnage porcelain doll, where it's like there's like this statue of a woman, and usually they're wearing white and they're holding one of their organs in their hand to represent, like, I don't know what it represents, but I'd interpret it as like, you know, beauty and like gore at the same time, where it's like the figure's supposed to be pristine and like, you know, all white, but then it's like covered in blood in certain parts because of it holding an organ, or like when it like an organ or one of its heart, I mean not one of its hearts, holding an organ or its heart or its like intestines or something. It's kind of like a weird beauty to it, I feel like. And you know, her holding her heart is like holding you know how people's heart breaks, like, you know, your heart breaks in pieces. The album name is In Pieces. There's songs that relate to like hearts and heartbreak and love, like Falling For You, Heart on My Sleeve, and all that stuff, like songs on the album. So I'd give it creativity, I give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. For quality of art, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like it's simple but very effective. The only thing I really don't like, the only thing I don't like is that like red glow on like the side of her, like on her chest, like on like, I'm so bad with left or right. It's like basically on this side, her left side of her chest where her heart would be, it's just a red circle like glowing, like someone just put like an airbrush over it. It's like, if they would have did it like at least blood dripping or something in like an artistic way, even if it wasn't like gory, like they Photoshop her like having her like intros or something out, which would be, that would be too much. But it's like they could have did it in an artistic way where it's like the dress is like stained red or something in that area, like blood is dripping or something. But I do think as like a piece of work with like photography, I really like it. I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then how well it matches the album, I would give 4.5 as well, because of the whole just like concept of it, and with the title, and you know, her holding her heart, and how like, oh, like the album kind of represents like heartbreak and, you know, a strained relationship and toxicity and all that. Even though some of it does feel, you know, it might feel a little phony. Like there is one song in the album that's like, it feels like Kill Bill light version. Like she tried to make her own little Kill Bill, and it was like, no, you know, you aren't killing anyone, Chloe. But okay, next up we have Doja Cat. We have Doja Cat, my guilty pleasure. We have Doja Cat. I love her, but she just does too much. This could be a whole video of itself. She just does way too much. It's like, not even the demon, like the demonic art like era. I'm fine with a demonic era. It's like, you know, I always see it as like artistic, where it's like supposed to be shock value. It's supposed to get people talking about your name. Yeah, it might turn off certain people, but it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I really did like her. Like, you know, I would say I liked her rollout with like the demonic stuff, but it was more like her talking shit about her fans. Even if she was trolling or not, it's still just like, what are you doing? Like, they're your fans, why are you talking shit? So it's like, that loses points. But when it comes to the album cover, it's super boring. It's not that good. It's like, the first one was like better, but even that was boring. But it's like, at least the first one was a spider, but it was like red at least to match the album cover name Scarlet. I mean, the album name Scarlet. But now it's like, it's just these two spiders, and yeah, they're in a like creative artistic way. It looks kind of like a watercolor, and it looks kind of hazy. You know, it's creative, but it's like, it doesn't really match the album. And I know she tried to do some like, spiders represent this, like she said that in like a tweet or on her live or some shit. And it's like, yeah, it's like, it's kind of like her other like song cover, like the Attention song cover, or just something with her like quote unquote like alter ego Scarlet, like when she's like drenched in blood. That was creative, but it's like, I feel like she could have went harder on that, because she kind of didn't like go hard on that. She was kind of just like, it was more like performative. It didn't really feel like she was like embodying that alter ego throughout the album. And I feel like she should have done that more and incorporated that alter ego to name the album off that. She should have went harder on it. But creativity, like, to be honest, like 1.5 stars, and I'm giving her 0.5 because of her whole like demonic era. Like everything's supposed to be dark and spooky, so it's like, I'll give you that. But quality, it's okay, but it's like, it's not crazy. I'll give you 2.5. That's me being nice. How well it matches the album, to be honest, like a 1. It's like the album, no. Personally, I like the album. I like majority of the songs on the album. I think the album's pretty good. And it, like, after like hearing her tweets where she's like, my other 2 albums were like cash grabs, I kind of could hear it, where it's like, I kind of see the vision, but it's like, I didn't mind the like cash grabs that much. I didn't mind like Hot Pink and Planet Her. But let me stop like gushing about, let me stop this parasocial relationship. But yeah, how well it matches the album, like 1.52 stars out of like 5. Okay, next up, last but not least, no, last, I don't know. I saw the City Girls album came out. Raw, real ass whores, raw. I like how it's done. It's simple but effective. Like, it has that 90s feel with all the like cat print and all that. But it's like album. Like, just like, I'm not into like I'm like, it's not for me. I'm not into like City Girl, I'm that bitch, da da da, you pussy, like all that shit. Like, I'm not into that music. But I like the album cover. I think it's done very well. I think like they're edited in very well. I think the color choice is very good. I like the cover. The music, well, kind of bad. I only like the song with Kim Petras because it's like catchy, like flashy. That's what it's called. That's the only song I really like from it. But yeah, like, I give the creativity, like, I feel like it's creative, but they didn't really try. Or it's like, it just feels like with the album that they just wanted this shit to be done, I'd say. Like, they were just like, yeah, let's just wrap this shit up. Like, both of them don't want to do shit. Or at least Carisha. We're not going a different tangent. But like, yeah, like, creativity, the cover itself is creative. I would give that a 3.5 because it looks like an interesting cover. And then like, how well it's made, like, it looks good. Like, the cover looks good. The cover doesn't look bad. I think it looks nice. It's like standard, like 3.5 for both. 3.5 stars for creativity and 3.5 stars for the quality of art of the photo. But like, how well it matches the music, to be honest, it matches the music. I feel like it's just the music's just shit, because it's like, you can tell they just don't give a and it's like, this is me ignoring whether I'd listen to it or not, but it's like, none of the, it's like, you can kind of just feel the like, we're making this for our like contract, like we're still obligated to make a like to finish this album, so we need to finish this album for our contract to be up. It feels like that. But yeah, I feel like, no wait, let's do one more, because I just didn't like this album. Let's do one more to be nice. Let's round it out at 10. I'll do one more to be nice, even though I kind of just didn't like this album. I just feel like I don't like Offset. Like, Offset's album, I like the cover. I like the color choice. I like how, you know, like the warm and cool colors and all that. Like, you know, he's getting blown into the sky, but it's tipped upside down, so it looks like he's falling. You know, I like the like Michael Jackson kind of like outfit to represent like him being like an icon and stuff like that. But I just don't like the music, because compared to like Durk's, like to Lil Durk's like album, it's kind of like with Lil Durk's, it's like I'm hearing a story. I'm hearing someone talk about their feelings. I'm hearing like something other than just like, I fuck these bitches, I fuck these hoes, I get my wet. That's all I hear. And it's kind of just like same old shit, same old fucking shit. That's what I'm saying when it comes to this. It's like Offset's album to me is kind of like, this isn't me saying he is this artist, like, but it reminds me of like Coil Ray when it comes to like, a lot of the songs just sound like the same old, where it's like, I f bitches, I do this, da 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 da, I trick off whoever, da da da, and it just gets like repetitive. Now I'm not gonna act like that. I'm gonna be honest. I listened to some of the album. I tried to listen to the album. There's certain songs I didn't listen to. I'm pretty sure he probably made a song for Takeoff, about Takeoff. So yeah, I'll give him that. But when I listen to at least like 3/4 of the album, and 3/4 of the album is the same old, and I keep hearing the same old lines about big booty bitch, you're fucking him or some shit, it gets really like repetitive. And I'm just like, what am I listening to? It just gets really repetitive. And what am I listening to? Yeah, we're gonna end it off that, because I could go on for days. But yeah, I almost forgot. Quick rating. Creativity, I'll give him a 4 for the cover, because the cover is really creative. It looks good, I'm not gonna lie. And then like how it's made, like the quality, I'll give it a 4. How well it matches the album, I just don't like the album, but I'll give him a 3, because I'm pretty sure it matches like the energy, but it's just like same old. Anyways, thank you for listening to this video, and thank you for tuning in to the Main Topic Podcast with your host Tremaine, holding it down per usual, because he's the one and he can do it. But yes, thank you for listening, and have a great day.